Hi, I'm James West. This is Midas Letter Money coming to you live from the Interview Pavilion in the Market One Media Lounge at the Canadian Investment Conference in Vancouver, BC. My guest today is Jean-Marc Staude. He is the president and CEO of Riverside Resources, Inc., which trades on the TSX Venture under the symbol RRI and in the United States under the symbol RVSDF. Jean-Marc, thanks for joining us today.
It's great to be here, Jim.
Riverside Resources, I first started covering this company probably 6 years ago. You've survived multiple downturns. You've managed to still advance the company's business. Why don't you give me an overview of where you're at now versus where you've come from?
Well, it's great, James, because you have been with us for so long. And we started with one project. We now have over 20 projects. We've been able to get those through partnerships and following the business model called Prospect Generator.
Sure.
Where we were was a dream, a hope, and an intention to build a company based on not diluting the shareholders. Mm-hmm. We're now partly through that. We haven't diluted the shareholders very much. We have 37 million shares out right now.
37 million.
After 7 years, pretty good.
Wow.
We have $5 million cash, just a touch under, no debt. Pretty good. When we started, we had listed with the $2 million, been able to grow quite substantially, quite well. Mm-hmm. Also, in the last year, we've developed new partnerships with major companies like Antofagasta. Mm-hmm. They're doing work with us in British Columbia as well as in Mexico. Mm-hmm. And Hochschild Mining. Mm-hmm. They're a Peruvian company, a silver and gold producer. Mm-hmm. They wanted to expand into Mexico, and we've been able to provide them that opportunity.
Okay, so does Riverside have revenue and cash flow at this point?
We have income from our operating services. So what we do is we charge a small fee for managing and doing the work. Secondly, we've had revenue from our share positions as well, as we've optioned out projects to other people. And the third is from cash payments. So we receive cash payments. Overall, we do have a small loss each year. We have a burn rate. So we're not able to make a profit. We haven't had to pay taxes yet. We look forward to that.
Sure, but the upside is that an investor gets exposure to a portfolio of advanced or various stages of development projects so that their downside is protected while they enjoy the upside of 20 different projects.
Exactly right. And so when we have those, we have each of them going forward, and we get a cash payment upon earn-in on each of the different projects.
Right.
For example, we get $3 million cash payment on each of the projects we have with Antofagasta. So right now, we have a project in Mexico. Antofagasta is doing the work. If they do complete an earn-in, we get a cash payment as well, and we have a carried interest into it. So we have a royalty stream off of that project. Similarly in
So that's the beauty of the Prospect Generator model is, you're using other people's money to a large extent to maintain your burn rate, to advance projects while retaining control over those projects over the long term.
Exactly right. And in certain cases, we have them projects that we do 100% ourselves. So we have those, and therefore with Discovery, for example, our Tajitos project or our Sugarloaf Peak project, we like those very much. They are 100% Riverside. We move those ahead, and upon discovery, the whole company can be revalued based on that. So we have multiple ways for a shareholder to participate in the upside and limit the downside.
Right. Okay. So that's how you've been able to limit the amount of shares out is over time, is because you do take income that offsets your losses and operating costs. Okay, so tell me about your favorite projects. Which ones excite you the most?
Oh, we get really excited about one that we're partnered with a company called Morro Bay. It's our Peñoles project.
Okay.
And we'll have drill results coming out in June and July, and then in August. So very excited to have drill results coming out within the next 30 to 60 days, and that's exciting.
Okay, so there's lots of reasons to be looking at Riverside now.
We're excited by the potential there. We'll see what the results are. We don't have those yet, but very excited about that. We also have drilling going in British Columbia with Antofagasta, a large porphyry copper system called Swift Katy. And we're excited by that. And so having a partner drill in Mexico and in Canada is really good. And the third project that we're very excited about is our Tajitos project. It's 100% Riverside. It's got right good location. It's near some of the larger mines operated by Newmont, by Timmins Gold, by Orico, right in the right neighborhood. And we like it. It's got highway right through the area, but there's no people. It's desert, it's dry, it's quite workable. That's a very nice project. We've had gold on the surface, and we're really excited by that project as well.
Yeah, no doubt. So then what do you look for in a project in terms of a candidate for acquisition?
First off is price. Really, you make money on buying on price, kind of like Riverside shares. We're down there pretty low. But
Sure.
in looking at a project, first off is what does it cost? When I used to work at BHP Billiton and at Tech Resources, there in the business development groups with those companies, it was always about how much was you going to have to pay for it. Well, as CEO of Riverside, that's the key thing. Secondly is we like precious metals. We focus on precious metals. Third is we focus on jurisdiction, the place that we know you can develop it. If you make discovery, you can develop it or someone else can develop it quickly. You look at how fast in Mexico or in the United States, particularly in Canada as well, but things have been able to develop quite quickly, and we really like that.
Yeah.
The third thing is near the surface. So with very few holes and very few meters, you can identify something and test it and see if it's there. Also, it's not very expensive to get out.
Right.
So it always comes down to economics.
Okay. So let me ask you this. At what point does a company like Riverside become a takeout candidate to larger major producers?
It's happened a lot. In fact, AUEX is a good example that it was then purchased by Frontier Development, and then Frontier Development for 1.7 or something billion dollars was taken out by Newmont. At that point is when there's a discovery and it's begin to be delineated. So what you see is that on discovery, and so that's what we're doing now on our Peñoles project. That's what we're excited about on our Swift Katy project, is both of those are at the discovery stage. There's been previous drilling, they've hit mineralization, so now, hopefully in the next rounds or a couple of rounds, with that big discovery hole, it sets it up quite well. That is typically then a takeout candidate. And you can see that often the rest of the assets are spun into a separate vehicle.
Right.
So therefore it's a clean single company and the rest of the assets get spun out. And Riverside's demonstrated we know how to do that.
Right.
We have done that in 2008, we've done that in 2010. At times when the market was very good, we did that. In times like now when the market's down, we consolidate, we survive, and we get really good assets. Each time we've reloaded during the downtime, and you see that happening in Riverside.
Sure.
In the last 6 months, we've picked up 5 new properties.
Wow. So just like now is a buyer's market.
We've been buying.
Exactly. Okay. Well, that's great, Jean-Marc. I'd like to thank you for joining us today.
James, thanks so much to be here again.
My guest today was Jean-Marc Staude. He is the president and CEO of Riverside Resources, Inc., which trades on the TSX Venture under the symbol RRI and trades in the United States under the symbol RVSDF. If you'd like to learn more about Riverside Resources, visit them online at riversideresources.com. And if you'd like to learn more about companies like Riverside, visit us at MidasLetter.com. I'm James West. This has been Midas Letter Money, coming to you live from the Market One Media Interview Pavilion at the Canadian Investment Conference in Vancouver, BC.